Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Public Policy Talks. My name is Marquis Tate. We're running just a few minutes behind. Had some technical problems behind the scenes, but we are here. Thank you for holding on during the break. We're going to have a good conversation this morning. We had a great conversation last week. We had a special call meeting with Mr. John Templeton, and he is back. I see you, John. All right, we got you in. I'm glad we got you in. All right, great, great. We had some problems getting John in earlier, but we're going to have a somewhat of a continued conversation from this past Thursday at 12 noon. And also, we did record this past conversation. We have it on the ABC's page. We have it on the ABBF's page. So we will share that in the chat. Shirley, if you can go ahead and just share that recording from last week. That was an hour and a half show about the 14th Amendment. So John really tore it up, y'all. So we're gonna touch on that shortly, John. Give me a few minutes to get ramped up, John. We're gonna get rolling this morning. Thank you, Raquel Hill, co-host on Shirley Xavier, member of the year, Shirley Xavier. Thank you so much for your support behind the scenes, Karen. Jordan, Francesca Sarab, Rise IPL, thank you so much for your support of Public Policy Talks. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today with not many links to put in the chat, not many notes to put in the chat and all. So we're going to have a great conversation. A lot has transpired over the last 2 weeks when it comes to public policy. We have the court system. Um, I was about to say the court system at its best. But yeah, I'll say it like this: the court system at its systemic best with the Nolan Wells case. It is a lot going on there with me being a former law enforcement officer, and I am quite concerned with the news that I see that's coming out of Mississippi. Everyone, Mississippi has a certain history, and that history, it looks like it is showing from my end, everyone. So once we get to the let's have a conversation, if you want to have a conversation about that Nolan Wells case, hey, let's have that conversation. The SBR grant has come to its conclusion. We had a great event at the end of this past month commemorating that long 6 months, I'll say, commemorating that long 6 months. Many of you, 75 businesses received grant dollars or really in the process of receiving grant dollars. Those checks have been processed. If you were one of the recipients and are on, you will be receiving that check very, very soon. Those checks have been processed and they will be coming to you very, very soon if you haven't already received them, or if you haven't received them this morning. But be sure we have processed, I think, all of them, all but maybe one, and we may have one or two left because the recipients have not responded to the last email that we sent out. I know we got a few that contacted us within the last couple of days, and you hadn't responded to the email, the confirmation email to send those dollars to you. But thank you so much for bearing with us. We have a video out. I was going to show that video, Raquel. Let me see if I can show that video. Give us just a second, y'all. Let's see if this is going to happen. Let's see.
Welcome, everyone, to our SBR grant graduation ceremony.
I want you to know who your grant team members are. We were led by Raquel Hill. Give a round of applause to Marquis Tate, who fought and partnered with Teresa and Shalene. Advancing Black Businesses is your educational advocacy organization that's going to bring the news to you on a weekly basis with public policy talks. Well, we're glad we're to this point so we can put some dollars in your hands.
What this grant is going to do is give me the opportunity to be able to set more appointments, get support.
Grants like this is so important for our businesses because a lot of times we're on that edge.
Georgia, as you all know, 12 years running, is the #1 state to do business in. Well, we need to be the #1 state for Black businesses as well.
Let's stand up and give a round of applause to all of our grant recipients. Congratulations. Congratulations. And congratulations.
All right. Let's unshare that.
Folks, this
Make
video of
sure
a Black
that
Wisconsin
is
teen being
down.
arrested is going viral and is causing a lot of discussion,
Mark
especially
right
since
there. Come on
it
there.
appears main.
There we go. All right, let's go back. Robert, you came in just at the end of the video that you kicked off for the SPR grant. But hey, thank you everyone for being there, for being patient during this SBR grant presentation or awards presentation. We do have an ad booklet that's coming out in the coming months. We will be releasing. You can buy ads in the ad book, thanks to Dale Henderson, who does a great job with Acknowledgement Magazine. We're working closely with him to have the awards ad booklet. So you can buy ads. We'll be releasing that information in the coming public policy talks. We may even have it in the newsletter. This morning's newsletter. This morning's newsletter has the DC fly-in information in the newsletter this morning. The DC fly-in is September the 17th through the 20th. That's September 17th through the 20th. We are taking over, literally taking over DC, everyone, especially on that Friday night. We'll be flying in that Thursday morning, or most of you will be flying in on that Thursday morning. The core team will be flying in on Wednesday morning. We have a conference on the campus of Howard University. Going to have a great time at that one-day conference. We're going to talk about health equity, economic development, and business development. Will be housed over at the School of Social Work, everyone. School of Social Work, partnering with Dr. Cosby, Dr. Robert Cosby. We're looking forward to having a great conversation with Dr. Cosby, Dr. Elizabeth Machera, also out of the Texas A&M system, is flying in also to talk about health equity within the Black community. You'll be flying in as a chamber member on that Thursday morning. The first stop should be, we're confirming all of this, should be at the United States Black Chambers Policy Brunch. We've done that for the last 3 or 4 years. That was our first stop to the U.S. Policy Brunch. After that, we'll be going to the Capitol, our nation's capital, to have a conversation with our Georgia delegation. We're looking to confirm many of our Georgia delegations, our congresspersons and our senators. We have requests out as we speak to meet with them at the nation's capital. I don't know, did I say the state's capital? Man, I'm talking a lot. I've been talking a lot already this morning. But our nation's capital. After that, we'll be going to register at the hotel, register for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's annual legislative conference. If you want to attend, you can attend that conference. We will be attending some of those sessions at the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus. That's the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus Annual Conference, the biggest week in DC for us when it comes to policy. That's for Black people when it comes to public policy at that federal level. So a lot going on at that federal level, particularly coming out of the White House from the anti-DEI attacks or the DEI attacks. You have many that we've talked about with Paula Watts on the 8A program, federal contracting, and so forth. I see you out there, Paula. Thank you for your support in that federal space. We have the state space. We have the state elections going on. We have an election that is going on right now. The congressional district, the 13th congressional district, is in the early voting period. The early voting period right now. You can go to, if you don't know what district you're in, and you should know because you're a chamber member, go to the MVP website at the Secretary of State's. Shirley, if you don't mind pulling that information, I think that's in the somewhere in the notes, and put that MVP website down. Put your first initial, your last name, your date of birth, and your information will come up. You can print a sample ballot. If you're in that 13th congressional district, we're in early voting. Early voting has already started. It ends on July the 24th. And the election for the 13th congressional district is July the 28th. July the 28th. That is a special election, everyone, not to confuse everyone, because we just had the primary election for the primaries, which included the 13th congressional district. That is my home district. We had several of those candidates on for that 13th congressional district for the primary election, which the general election is in November. So this 13th congressional district race right now that's going on, election July the 28th, is to fill the rest of the remaining, what do you call it? I'm at a loss for words, the remaining term for the passing of our congressperson, David Scott, who passed away just a short time ago. Rest in peace. But this special election is to fill the rest of the term. So there's about six candidates. Don't want to mention any names, but go to that sample ballot on the MVP website. You can print that sample ballot. You can go through that, look at all of those candidates to see which one you want to vote for if you're in that 13th congressional district. So please go out and vote. I will be going out to vote very, very soon. If I don't make it to the early voting, I will be voting on July the 28th, everyone. So a lot going on out here. That was a DC fly-in on August the 3rd, everyone. August the 3rd. This is a save the date. I do want to share that. Raquel, I want to share that Eventbrite. I want to go ahead, even though we have a placeholder flyer there, we have a placeholder. It's not the finished flyer, but I had to get this out. Now, August the 3rd, that's 12 noon to 2 p.m., we have our Advocacy Day. Really our first, I'll say, official Advocacy Day, even though this will be our third time visiting Atlanta City Council, everyone. Atlanta City Council meeting August the 3rd, thanks to Councilman Michael Julian Bond. He has sponsored us each and every time that we have gone down to City Hall. At the City Hall meetings, we will be hearing from our chairperson, Sherlyn Sellers. We'll be hearing from our president and CEO, Melvin Coleman. So Advancing Black Businesses Foundation is putting this on for the Atlanta Black Chambers. So we're going to have a great time. I call it a takeover. So we need you at City Hall. We are developing a stronger relationship with the city. As you know, each and every year for many, many years, we have had our Advocacy Day at the state capitol. At the state capitol during the session. That was generally from anywhere from January to March. Over the past many years, we've had our sessions there, and we're going to continue doing that in partnership with the chamber statewide, because that's a state initiative that we started many, many years ago, where we were concentrating at that state level. Now we're about to shift and start concentrating at the local level. We're still at that state level, but we're partnering with our state Black chambers, including the Georgia Coalition of Black Chambers, Greater Augusta, Greater Savannah Black Chambers, the Northeast Black Chamber of Commerce, and many others that are around the state. We're partnering with them at that state level to have a statewide presence. And we're doing that to relieve some of the stress with our organizations, because we're going to concentrate at that local level moving forward. Everyone, we're going to continue to write bills at the state level. We're going to continue to be an advocate at that state level, but we have to get more involved, at that city, that local level. Even looking at other commissions, the Fulton County Commission, looking at other counties, other cities, we're going to get more involved from a standpoint of that, because we spread, even though we're Advancing Black Businesses Foundation, the Atlanta Black Chambers. We do have many of you members of the chamber are all over the metropolitan area. So we're looking to get more involved also in other counties and cities also. So we do have Mr. John Templeton on. Not to hold you any longer, we have the founder of the Journal, and I have to look at this, John, because I'm trying to tune my brain into saying the full name. That's the Journal of Black Innovation, National Black Business Month. We had a great conversation. And John, I almost forgot, John. Give me 1 second. Raquel, I do apologize. I do have you on the list for the Public Policy Pulse. Let me back up, John. We got to get the queen in here to talk about what's going on in public policy. There she is. Got the nice Advancing Black Businesses Foundation shirt on. Go right ahead, Raquel.
Good morning, good people. I missed you guys. It's been about 2 weeks since I've seen you, but welcome to the Public Policy Pulse. I'm your girl, Raquel. It's Thursday, July 16th, 2026. And if you're running a business, trying to scale, or managing assets in today's landscape, you already know policy isn't just background noise. It is the invisible hand shaping your cash flow and your competitive advantage. Over the last few weeks, the rules of the game have been quietly and drastically rewritten. We've seen a historic lending shift at the federal level that completely alters how you finance your company's growth. And locally in Atlanta, City Hall just threw down a massive regulatory gauntlet that is going to reshuffle commercial real estate values overnight. We have some fresh critical developments hitting your radar today. All right. The SBA officially decouples 7A and 504 programs, stacking combined loan limits to a historic $10 million. If you run a capital-intensive business, think logistics, specialty trades, manufacturing, or commercial food production, your expansion plans have likely been thwarted by the old $5 million cap. You can now fully finance a business acquisition or secure massive working capital via a 7A loan and still purchase your corporate headquarters or facility using a 504 loan without the two programs eating each other's limits. The takeaway, the order of operations is critical. To capture the full $2 million in capacity, you must secure the 7A loan first. Stacking a 504 loan first will still count against you. All right. Next headline. HUD finalizes fiscal year 2026 annual action plan rollout, target locking federal community development and capital. This isn't just about public housing. It represents millions of dollars flowing into local communities via municipal B2G contracting opportunities. For small, local, and diverse contractors in commercial construction, engineering, and localized services, this is where primary municipal contract pipelines are bored. The takeaway, track your local county's HUD allocation timelines. Ensure your business is registered on your local municipal e-procurement system to bid on the specific infrastructure, service, and rehabilitation contracts funded by these federal blocks. Rising equipment and commercial real estate costs drive small business capital demands upward. Operational overhead is increasingly expensive. Small businesses trying to transition from service providers to physical products developers are facing extreme cash flow pinches when purchasing the raw goods and machinery needed to scale up. All right, bringing it home here to Georgia and Atlanta. Atlanta City Council passes comprehensive 180-day moratorium on self-development. This freeze puts major self-storage projects currently in application pipeline at risk, immediately shifting the value of land and existing zoning permits. More importantly, it signals a major policy shift to prioritize pedestrian-centric retail and commercial density inside city limits over industrial-style storage footprint. Atlanta amends alcohol code, unlocking happy hour pricing for local restaurants. Under the new rules, restaurants can slash menu prices on drinks up to 50%. However, the city is keeping tight guardrails. All you can drink or unlimited drink specials remain strictly illegal, and every single discounted transaction must be rung up at full menu price with discounts separately recorded in your POS system for strict regulatory audit compliances. I have so much, and I don't want to read all of it to you. I think that's it, guys. That's what I have for the Public Policy Pulse. Thank you for tuning in. From SBA opening up a historic $10 million capital pathway to the Atlantic City Council completely shifting the rules of play for storage developers and restaurateurs. The message today is loud and clear. Structure is your safety net, and policy literacy is your ultimate superpower. The capital is out there, but it's going to take those who read the fine print and move with intention. This is Raquel Hill. This is your Public Policy Pulse, and I will see you next Thursday.
Thank you, Raquel, being so thorough with what's going on in public policy and what we need to hear about those headlines. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But moving right along, the 23rd Journal of Black Innovation National Black Business Month will urge the 4.4 million African-American businesses, 3 million of them being women, to raise an unprecedented war chest during the week of mourning for the death of the Voting Rights Act, beginning with the focus on the anniversary of the New Orleans Massacre, July 30th, through the anniversary of the act signing on August the 6th. They will urge will be urged to increase their historic role as role as funders of the Black freedom movement since the 1600s, according to who we're about to hear from, John William Templeton, Dr. Carlton B. Goodlett, distinguished conservator of the California African American Freedom Trail. Bill Haley, grandson of Alex Haley, begins the campaign to mark the 50th anniversary of Roots on July 30th. Also, Dr. George Frazier of FrazierNet leads a Black Unity rally on August the 3rd. We shared that on last week, featuring the guest appearances from top mayors around the nation to express their support of African American businesses, which are under attack in the courts and from the federal government. Reverend Mike McBride, founder of the Live Free USA, will describe the Freedom Summer in thousands of churches and addressing the ongoing organizing the $18 billion Black church on August the 2nd. Let's bring you in, John. I've read a lot of what you emailed over to me, but come on in. Let's have this conversation. We're going to have only 10 minutes, John, to talk because we got to get to the people to hear what's going on their minds, and then let's have a conversation. But John, I don't want to corner you, but you mentioned last Thursday about us being a protected class. Start right there and get into your conversation. And unmute yourself, John. We got to unmute you. Let's unmute. Hold on one second. Can Shirley or let's see, Karen, one of y'all, Raquel, can y'all get John unmuted? I cannot seem to get him. Let's see. Where is he on the list? There we go. All right, you ready, John?
Good morning, everybody. So quickly, the 30-second elevator speech. African Americans are the only constitutionally protected class because we were explicitly excluded from the reason for the formation of the country, which was to stop taxation without representation. So we were explicitly used for apportionment of the states as 3/5 of a human being for the first 80 years. And then we fought a war to end that. And we had 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment so that we got full citizenship and the right to vote. However, it hasn't been enforced. So there have been 12 civil rights laws where Congress has made the finding, the same finding that it made in the Joint Reconstruction Committee, that African Americans are systematically discriminated against. So you should never allow somebody to make an argument about African Americans being treated with a preference as individuals, because it is a group distinction that goes to the very heart of the country, and it's an earned covenant because we won those rights through a war, and we won those rights through several wars. The exact percentage of U.S. veterans, 40 million veterans, 12% of them are African Americans. And keep in mind, for most of this country's history, we couldn't even join the military. So we have overrepresented ourselves. And as we pointed out in our African American National Summer School, Robert Russell Moulton said at the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial, African Americans have been the most patriotic. So that's kind of the short definition of the protected class, and so we should always push back on that and point out why we are protected.
All right. Thank you, John, for explaining that. I really appreciate that information. Anything else you want to add, John? Anything you want to add? Because we had that great conversation about the 14th Amendment also.
Yeah, so and the 14th Amendment is the key because it is the most important part of the Constitution, because it puts the federal government on the side of protecting the liberty of individual citizens against state governments. So the heart of racism in this country is state governments, and the states were
Mhm.
set up as corporations, right? So essentially, states are vestiges of slavery. So uh, when we became citizens of the United States, then we got the federal government to help us to protect our freedom against state governments, which tend to be controlled by, uh, rich elites. Now, for the first time, and this is why tonight is so dangerous. Last week we talked about Atlanta under siege.
Yeah.
Well, tonight is the incoming fire.
Mhm.
Tonight is Fort Sumter.
Mm.
Tonight he's coming for Black folks in Atlanta.
Wow. Got it.
Okay.
And when you say tonight, tell everybody what you mean tonight. What's going on tonight?
Trump is giving this national speech, and he's going to be
Mhm.
talking about the 2020 election.
Got it. All right, everyone.
So there's no telling what he's liable to come up with about what y'all did in Fulton County.
Got it.
And
Mhm.
and the House passed the Save Act a couple days ago.
Mhm.
So if they figure out a way to get it through reconciliation in the Senate, then Jim Crow 2.0 just got put into law, and they'll have ICE and FBI going out and arresting folks willy-nilly and putting them in concentration camps. Now, I was the um, author of the first article on COINTELPRO back in 1973. Did it with Cortland Cox, who was one of the
Mhm.
organizers of March on Washington, SNCC uh, stalwart. Uh, and so I can tell you what it was like when J. Edgar Hoover was infiltrating Black organizations and set folks against each other and and tapping everybody's phone and that sort of thing. So you don't have any uh, imagination about what the federal government can do when it is aligned against you, and it's not going to be pleasant. So this is why, um, please register for National Black Business Month. We all have lanes. The chambers do a great job, but I'm the independent person who can tell you the danger we face. I don't have to, I don't have to get corporate donations. I sell textbooks to schools, so I don't have to get sponsorships. So I'm just looking at the research. I'm looking at the history. This country has killed the buffalo, almost exterminated whales. Uh, repeating the 1906 Atlanta race ride,
Mhm.
is not a big deal. I mean,
Got it.
they're planning for it. The Trump sons are investing in companies that will ship you guns in the mail.
Right.
So they want to take January 6th nationwide. So that's what we are on a war footing. So we need everybody to register for National Black Business Month so we can make sure you get the information, you have the arguments, because um, we are so close to reaching the promised land, which is why this resistance is so vehement. And you got the Magnificent Seven in Georgia. You got 7 Black women running for statewide office.
Mhm.
Just think about how you will feel when they win.
Mhm. All right.
And so we should let nothing stop us from getting that victory. And it's so close, and we just have to have all hands on deck. And And the way to really galvanize the Black vote is get Black businesses organized. And, one analogy in 1868, when we got the 14th Amendment, there were 4 million Black folks in the whole country. Now it's 48 million.
Mm-hmm.
But those 4 million were able to get 700,000 to join the Loyal League, 4,700 chapters. And that's how we got the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, because of organization. So all we're asking Black businesses to do is the same level of motivation, same level of mobilization that people who had been in slavery for 247 years with no access to capital, no access to communication, no access to arms did in 1868. So we've done it before. We raised the money for the Lincoln Memorial. We raised the money for Grant's tomb. And all you got to do is go to blackbusinessmonth.com, register, sign up, join us on August 3rd. We want to have at least 10,000 people either online or in person for George Frazier. And we want to send a message to them: do not pass the SAVE Act. And the only way we're going to do it, the only thing they're going to fear is Black businesses being completely organized and free to speak freely.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and John, I do have your website up. I put that in the chat also, blackbusinessmonth.com. You click on Black Business Month right here on the screen, and it takes you to the page that I have up. And you see July 30th through September the 22nd, 55 ways in 55 days. You can actually register. Go down to the bottom. You'll see, go to the August 3rd. One of the main events John is mentioning is an event with Dr. George Frazier. It has the register tab right there. So that is blackbusinessmonth.com. That's in the chat. John, if you don't mind, hang on with us if you can. There may
I
be
sure
some
can.
questions. I know there's Shirley, if you can put the recording from last week in the chat again, that would be great. You have a couple questions. Somebody wanting that to go in. It's actually at the on the ABC's page. It's easy to find. It's actually we talked about the 14th Amendment, where the founder right here, everyone, we got an expert right here on with us in Public Policy Talks, a founder of the Journal of Black Innovation, National Black Business Month, which starts in August. We will be kicking off that month at City Hall, as I mentioned, on August the 3rd. We need you there. Please register for that. We have the placeholder Eventbrite for you, the placeholder flyer. So don't judge us from that flyer. We're changing that. I had to get something up by this morning to get it out. It'll be in the upcoming newsletters also. We want to see you there in City Hall. So raise your hand if you have a question for me, a question or just a comment. You just want to get something off your chest. You have a question for John Templeton, is an expert right here in history, founder of A Month. Everyone, we have him on. He's in California. I know it's very early out there, John. I didn't know it was going to be daylight and in California at this time. What is it, 6 a.m. in California, and you're already outside. So,
Actually, I'm in the airport, so that's why I got the fake greenery behind me.
oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
in the airport. Okay,
yeah.
all
So,
right.
but let me add, on the 3rd, and I sent you the note to coordinate with the mayor. We're going to have the mayors of New York, Houston, Detroit, Atlanta, all joining in with George Frazier,
Okay.
because we want this to be very interactive, where everybody is singing from the same hymn. Because what they're talking about, you may see the story in the Washington Post today. They're talking about tying the grants to politics. So you can only get money if you agree with what the administration is saying. And so this gets more and more insidious every day. So we literally are going to have to just flex our power.
Mhm.
It is a paradigm shift.
It is.
You know, we are used to begging. You know, we
Mhm.
call it learned helplessness. We think we have to get somebody externally to save us. It ain't never happened.
Got it.
It's always been black businesses that has carried us over. And with 4 million, we got $360 billion of revenue. And if we spend 1%
Mhm.
in August to shore up our organizations, to make sure that NAACP, NAACP just said they're going to spend $20 million on the midterms. Most they ever spent. That ain't enough.
Got it. Mhm.
So the only place they're going to get it is from us, you know?
Mhm.
And so, but the great thing about it is that when you register, we're going to have top officials from every country in Africa and every country in the Caribbean every day. So we're going to make this pivot to being global businesses. And basically, that's going to be what allows us to enjoy political freedom in the United States.
All right. Great.
But you
All
got to
right.
be registered.
Got it. Yeah, John, and you touched on the state election going on right now, which is the midterm elections and the number of black women that we have in the race. I appreciate you touching on that. Quite historic in itself, being
And
in that race.
it ain't never happened before, and
Mhm.
it is freaking white men out. So, which
Yeah.
means we got to do more. You know, if if they are so concerned about it, then that's why we got to make it happen.
Right. Right. Yeah, and John, you mentioned about black businesses should play a major role, and we're working in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. We have had a meeting with many of the black chamber presidents around the state. So we are meeting about putting our priorities together, putting our asks together for black businesses in the state. So stay tuned for more, but that's going to be really behind the scenes. We're going to be having these conversations with many of these candidates. You may see some of the candidates come on public policy talks. We will see. And we're looking to definitely make some of that happen, but we'll see in the coming weeks, in the coming months leading into the election. So, but thank you so much, John. Are there any comments, any questions out there? Anything that anybody wants to bring up that we haven't touched on, please do so. I mentioned the Nolan Wells case earlier. A lot is coming out with that. We see that systemic system at play. There is a lot going on in what I've described a few weeks ago, the new media versus traditional media. That's going on. Not I was about to say behind the scenes, but that's going on basically in social media, in YouTube, where you see a lot of conversation has been going back and forth, really for the last several or many years. Matthew Coleman, what's going on? See your hand raised.
Yeah, I just want to say, hats off to Raquel. I'm going to be